It kind of looks like a shamrock shake. Oh, it looks so good. It looks so green. Hey guys, it's Nia. Welcome back to another episode of Recipe Drop, where me and the Test Kitchen bring you new recipes every week. This week we're celebrating Cheese Week, which is a great theme in my opinion, and we're making my version of a pasta pisali, which I feel like most people grew up eating. It's an adult pasta pisali where I puree the peas with milk and it creates a really smooth and creamy green cheese sauce. It was also kind of inspired by a restaurant in Manhattan called Hancock Street. They used to have this great adult kids pasta on the menu. Okay, so I have a really big pot of salted water that I'm bringing to a boil, and while I wait for that to come to a boil, I am gonna start by making our breadcrumb topping. So I have a little skillet over medium heat, and I'm gonna melt 2 tablespoons of butter. So this breadcrumb topping has capers and lemon zest in it. I think it adds a really nice pop of saltiness and extra flavor to the breadcrumbs that pairs really nicely with the peas. So what I'm gonna do first is fry the capers until they're kind of nice and crispy. This doesn't really have any brine in it, so I'm just gonna pour them right in. If yours still does have brine in it, then I would recommend not using the brine. So I'm just waiting here until the butter is completely melted and has started to sizzle a bit. It looks like a lot of butter, but we're also adding a lot of breadcrumbs, so it'll soak it up. And it's also gonna help to make them really nice and golden brown. All right, a tablespoon of capers. And I'm just gonna stir these until they're slightly crispy and are a little bit golden brown. And in general, frying some capers in olive oil or butter are a really nice way to spruce up a salad or an appetizer or a sandwich. So I'm also gonna be careful here not to brown the butter, because although brown butter is really good, it's not exactly what we want for this recipe. So you can see they're starting to pop open a bit and are becoming a little bit crispy. So now I'm gonna add 1/2 cup of plain breadcrumbs. I like to use these. You can also use panko if that's what you have. And now I'm gonna toast these until they're nice and golden brown. Just mixing all the butter in. This should only take about a minute or two, but make sure to keep stirring and don't walk too far away from the stove, because breadcrumbs and anything that you're toasting on a stove can go from brown or toasted to burnt pretty quickly. And I'm also not really adding any extra salt because there's plenty of salt from the capers, and I also used salted butter for this. So you can see underneath starting to get a little bit brown right there. For a pasta pisali that we would eat as kids, so just pretty much Annie's macaroni and cheese with peas, usually there's not breadcrumbs, but breadcrumbs is such a staple on regular mac and cheese. I really wanted to add it for this recipe. And it's also really nice with just a bit of extra crunch on top. It's taking a while to brown.
Yeah, it's actually...
See, I'm as I say that, I'm it's taking so long. Then it starts to brown. Okay, so when it looks like this, take it off the heat. And now I'm gonna grate in some lemon zest. This is just to add some brightness, and lemon just goes really well with capers and peas. I usually don't measure with lemon zest. I usually just do half or whole, and I'm gonna go in with pretty much all of the lemon zest from this lemon. Okay, give it a nice stir. Okay, so breadcrumbs are done. I'm gonna set this aside until it's time to serve. So now I'm gonna make the cheese sauce. So what I do for this is I puree peas and milk together until it's super smooth. So I have 1 10-ounce bag of frozen peas that I've thawed for maybe just half an hour. If you forget to put them at room temperature, you could pop them in the microwave for, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. And then here I have 3 cups of whole milk. You could also do this in a food processor. However, if you do use a food processor, I would recommend blending them, pureeing the peas with a smaller amount of milk. So maybe do the peas and just 1.5 cups of milk. And then you can always add the rest of the milk later. It kind of looks like a shamrock shake. Throw some ice in there, make it look like a real slushy. That'd be so mean. Okay, so now I'm gonna start building the sauce. I'm gonna start off by making a roux. So I have 4 tablespoons of butter. Oops. And I'm just gonna wait for this to melt. And then I'm gonna sprinkle in the flour. So right now I just have it over medium, medium-low. It's really important here that you use a really big pot because it makes a ton of cheese sauce. So here I have 4 tablespoons of flour. When you make a roux, which is the base of a lot of thick sauces and soups, you wanna use equal parts fat and equal parts flour. And now because it is adult pasta piselli, I have a 1/4 cup of white wine that I'm gonna stir in. So stir until just the alcohol smell has kind of disappeared. Now that it looks like this, I'm gonna add the peas in the milk. So start by pouring in about 1/3 of the mixture. It's already looking really green. I pour in 1/3 of the mixture first, just because it's easier to make sure that all the flour and the roux clumps are mixed in if there's less liquid first. So you can see now that it's pretty smooth. There really aren't any flour clumps, so I'm gonna add the rest of it. And kind of pour it in slowly. So when you're making a cheese sauce, it's really important to make sure that the base, so the bechamel, doesn't get too hot, because if it is too hot, once you add the cheese, it can separate and you're not gonna have that really smooth cheese sauce. So now that I've added all the milk mixture and the peas, I reduce the heat to low, and I'm just gonna keep stirring this until the sauce is thickened. So the water is boiling. I have here a 17, just like a regular box of pasta. You could use whatever pasta you want, but I just think these just catch the sauce really well, and it's also very similar to the dish that partly inspired this recipe. So I'm gonna cook these for about 9 minutes, I believe. As I mentioned before, this does make a lot of sauce, so depending on how saucy you like your mac and cheese, you might not end up having to use all of this. So I don't know, I think this is a really great recipe for if you're serving a crowd. If you want to use all the cheese sauce and you want to serve a lot of people, then I would recommend even cooking 1.5 bucks of pasta. So I'm gonna add the cheese now. I have 12 ounces of grated cheddar. I'm gonna add a little bit at a time. And this is important just to make sure that everything melts evenly. So after each addition of cheese, I'm just stirring until I see that all the cheese is melted. And again, you want to make sure to keep this kind of at a low heat, just to make sure that the cheese doesn't start to separate and curdle. You might have also noticed that I haven't salted the sauce at all yet, and that's because there's a lot of salt that is coming from the cheese. So I want to make sure not to add any more salt until I know how salty it's going to be from the cheese. Okay, now I'm going to add 6 ounces of grated Parmesan. I feel like I have so many memories of my parents making macaroni and cheese with peas. Probably like you all do too. I feel like it's just one of those universal things that we all ate as kids, and it's so good. Pasta's done. I'm gonna save about 1/2 cup of pasta water just in case we need it later. Just pour it right back into the pot. All right, adding the very last bit of the Parmesan. And you can already see how much sauce there is. So now I'm gonna season it with salt and pepper. I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of kosher salt and a very generous amount of black pepper. Now after you've added that salt and pepper, I would go in and just season more to taste if you think it needs it. You can see here now we have a really nice and smooth cheese sauce. This is exactly what I was looking for. Okay, now I'm just gonna add the cheese sauce. You could really just pour it in, but I'm doing this just because I feel like it's a little bit easier. And even though I did save 1/2 cup of pasta water, sometimes I don't use it. It kind of depends on how saucy you want it, and if you feel like it needs it. It's always just nice to save some just in case. Just gonna stir until all the noodles are coated in sauce. You could stop here. This looks great. But as I said, I like my macaroni and cheese to be really saucy, so I'm gonna add even a little bit more. And I think it's nice to add a little extra because as it sits, the pasta's gonna soak up some of that sauce and it's not gonna be as saucy as when you first added it. Oh, it looks so good. It looks so green. So I'm actually gonna add maybe just like 1/4 cup of pasta water, just to make sure that it stays nice and saucy how I want it. And then if you want, you can also return the breadcrumbs to the stove and reheat them a little bit. So I'm gonna serve this on one of my favorite bowl plate. This is from East Fork. I haven't had macaroni and cheese in a while. But you can see all these noodles just fill up with sauce. I'm gonna top it with some of my breadcrumbs. I'm gonna garnish with a little bit more black pepper. And here you go. Super easy adult pasta piselli. Such a fun variation of mac and cheese, and everybody in your family will love it. trying to choose the cheesiest one. Yeah, it looks really good. That's really good. I really love the breadcrumbs on top. The zest kind of shines through, and it just goes really well with the peas. I just think it's such a fun way to use peas too. This is a my adult pasta piselli. You had like pasta and peas growing up, right?
No.
You didn't? No. I feel like everyone else I've asked has.
A Puerto Rican girl will eat that. The color's great.
Thank you.
Mmm. You did something different. What'd you do? I taste citrus.
Oh yeah, there's lemon zest in the breadcrumbs.
That sets it off.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Thank you.
The texture's great. Color's beautiful. Well done.
Thanks, Caesar. Cool. If you want to make this recipe, you can find it linked below in the description. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next recipe drop.